Hey class, so today I'm going to be giving my book presentation on this book. It is The Magicians by Grossman. Um, so I actually got into this book because they have a television series based off of it. Um, I highly recommend it. It's great. It's a lot different from the book, but they're both still good in their own right. I recommend reading and watching both. Um, so to start out, I was going to give you a quote from George R. R. Martin, who reviewed the book. He said, "The Magicians is to Harry Potter as a shot of Irish whiskey is to a glass of weak tea. Solidly rooted in the traditions of both fantasy and mainstream literary fiction, the novel tips its hat to Oz and Narnia as well as Harry. But don't mistake this for a children's book. Grossman's sensibilities are thoroughly adult, his narrative dark and dangerous and full of twist. Hogwarts is never like this." Um, so this novel centers around Quentin Coldwater. This is him, his actor for the television series. When we meet Clinton, he is a high school senior. He is a very, very intelligent student. He's one of the top students in the nation. He is interviewing for, I think it's Harvard, when we first start to meet him. But he is someone not only obsessed with his best friend who is dating his other friend, but also with a children's series called Fillory and Feather. This centers around World War II era England. So first thing you think of is Narnia. They go into this world through clocks that there's talking animals. I mean, it's almost like Narnia, but a bit different. It's a little bit darker undertones throughout the novel. He actually does, in the book, have a map of Fillory. So yeah, I thought it was really cool. So Quentin one day discovers that there is a magical college named Brakebills. They make him take this test that is, he says, the weirdest test that he's ever taken. It's a piece of paper, but the words are changing on it. There's bizarre questions. They ask him to make up a language and then explain the rules of the language. And like translate it into English, translate it into a different language. It's insane, and it takes him like 3 hours to finish. So he finally gets in, and they start taking classes. So it's like Harry Potter, you know, they stay in the dorms, taking different classes with different things. They don't use wands like in Harry Potter. They use more like hand motions. He says that, you know, like some of them are so hard, like he doesn't know how to contort his fingers to do everything. So it kind of takes you through his time for at least the first half of the novel at Brakebills. You meet different characters that come along on his journey. Alice is one of the biggest ones. She is a love interest eventually. She's kind of very uptight, keeps to herself, barely says any words. But later, you know, she opens up. They eventually have to a whole thing with Antarctica that kind of opens them up to each other. I won't spoil that because it's very interesting to me. You meet Penny. He's another magician. He is kind of this really tough biker dude, has a mohawk. He kind of disappears halfway through the novel, only to pop up later in something that I'll explain. You meet Elliot and Janet. They're the same, two sides of the same coin. They're both older. They both love to party. Both very sassy. They have a very good rapport with each other. It's one of my favorite things in the novel, just to hear them two just have conversations, especially in the TV show. It takes it to a whole nother level. The basically, like, the inciting incident, I guess you would call it, in the novel is, one day a creature, it's basically a man that has a branch over his head. He comes and kills a student, basically eats the student, not just kills, eats her. And this kind of sets off a chain of events that eventually will lead them somewhere. So they eventually graduate from school. They kind of rush through a lot of that. And eventually they're out in New York, and a lot of our characters, especially Quentin and Elliot, they don't know what to do with magic. There's a big thing of like, how do you have a magical job? Some people just lounge around, travel, do magic all day. Some people study it more. But Quentin and Elliot both are like, we have no idea what to do. We have no purpose. And then one day, Penny comes back and he's like, guys, I've discovered this whole entire new world called the Netherlands. And it's basically fountains that lead to different worlds. And he comes to them and says, hey, I think that I can get us to Fillory. And so they eventually go to this Netherlands, and time is weird there. They have to spray paint their way back because it's intentionally in a maze to try to get you confused, and it can be disastrous if they don't find the earth fountain back. So they eventually go to Fillory. It's very Narnia-esque. Even like the fountains, I think, is a direct homage to the Magician's Nephew, I think, when they have all the little fountains. Or puddles. So Fillory, they like get drunk with a talking bear. There's moving talking trees. I mean, straight from everything that we've been discussing this semester. I won't go into too much detail on that because it's crazy what happens there. But just think like drunk bears. That's all you need to know if you put drunk bears in Narnia. So I've already talked about a few themes. A lot of it, like purpose in life, is something big that Quentin struggles through. Drugs, alcoholism is really big throughout all of it. Like, it starts out like, ooh, fun, party, and then it gets really deep into that. Like, it's destroying Elliot's, mainly's life. But overall, it's a dark fantasy for adults. It's very well written. The pacing is a little weird to me. It's kind of go, 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 go. And I understand that he's trying to, build this world, have a lot, but it just feels like he could have lengthened the series a little bit more, and it would have been just as effective, because you don't really, he blows through 5 years within 100 pages. So he doesn't take his time with a lot of things. I feel like he should have, but that's just my opinion. The only other issue I had with the book is that it definitely has a male gaze to it. One part, Alice has to get nude, and he goes into excruciating detail about her body. Almost every single female character you meet, he has to make a note of what their legs look like, which definitely bothered me. I don't think it makes the book bad, but it was definitely something I could do without. But other than that, it was great. I hope y'all give it a read. I hope I did a great job explaining it. And yeah, it's an awesome book. I think there's 2 other books in it, and then one that's kind of a retelling of the series through Alice's perspective. I haven't read them yet. I'm excited to read them. I hope I can have a chance to over the summer. So thanks, guys. Bye.